Hi there. Whenever a supposed blockbuster movie from a certain studio like Captain Marvel from Marvel Studios, or a big TV show like Rings of Power and Wheels of Time that was supposed to have high viewership numbers but flopped at the end. Every time the fans have been accused by Rotten Tomatoes of rigging the audience score. The fans were accused for the first time on Ghostbusters 2016, but the real measures were taken from Rotten Tomatoes when Captain Marvel was released, hiding the audience score to protect the Marvel film. And then they threw out the narrative that only the critic score was trustworthy and the audience score was compromised by an army of angry fans that didn't like the movie or had some other agenda. But there are many voices on YouTube that are saying that actually the critic score is the one that is being rigged. And we got this article from Vulture that can support what we were saying all this time. The article starts with the movie publicity company Bunker 15. So let's see what the article says. In 2018, a movie publicity company called Bunker 15 took on a new project, Ophelia, a feminist retelling of Hamlet starring Daisy Ridley. Critics who have seen early screenings had published 13 reviews, 7 of them negative, which translated into a score of 46% on the all-important aggregation site Rotten Tomatoes, a disappointing outcome for a film with prestige aspirations and no domestic distributor. For these kind of more obscure movies, the critic numbers count even more, since without them, they will never get a distributor to put their film on the big screen. But here's where things get a bit more juicy. But just because the tomato meter says the title is rotten, scoring below 60%, it doesn't need to stay that way. Bunker 15 went to work. While most of the film PR companies aim to get attention from critics from the top publications, Bunker 15 takes a more bottom-up approach, recruiting obscure, often self-published critics who are nevertheless part of the pool tracked by Rotten Tomatoes. In another break from the standard practice, several critics say that Bunker 15 pays them $50 or more for each review. This part tells us that critics have no moral principles and their opinions go where the almighty buckaroo goes, or they're just flat out broke. Either way, this shows that the critics cannot be trusted on big sites like Rotten Tomatoes, which is being mentioned in this part of this expose. More input from different critics is not very subtle, and the prospective critic wrote back to ask what would happen if he hated the film. The Bunker 15 employee replied that of course journalists are free to write whatever they like, but the super nice ones, and there are more critics like this than I expected, often agreed not to publish bad reviews on their usual website, but instead quarantine them on a smaller blog than Rotten Tomatoes never sees. I think it's a very cool thing to do. If done right, the trick will help to ensure that Rotten Tomatoes log positive reviews but not negative ones. Here we can see that most of the big sites post only reviews that will support their goal, and the rest are thrown in the trash can, or politely redirecting them to the smaller sites where lesser eyes will see them. They are so diplomatic with their suggestions that they want the critics that still have some sort of morality left in them to feel guilty for posting a negative review. Then Vulture communicated with the founder of Bunker 15, and his words were, "Wow, you are really reaching there. We have thousands of writers in our distribution list. A small handful set up a specific system where filmmakers can sponsor or pay to have them review a film. Here this fellow is flat out admitting that his company is taking bribes for good reviews. But he didn't told us what his tariff is for bigger movies. Because if he's getting like $50 for each movie, he's getting scammed. But Ophelia is just the tip of the iceberg, since there are big tentpole movies that are using Rotten Tomatoes to their advantage. As the article says, before a movie is officially released to the people, there are screenings with selected critics that will give positive reviews, boosting its box office revenue for the first week. The example they gave with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was right on the spot. The first week it broke records. The second week it nosedived to 69% less than it had from the first week income. So what should an average moviegoer do if he or she wants a valid opinion to see if the movie they're going to see is decent and worth the time and money to spend on? I would say follow an independent reviewer or the good word of mouth the movie is getting from other viewers, since both of them have a lower possibility to be bought off. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to make a comment, use the comment section below. Thank you and have a good one.